Welcome to another episode of Compa Financial Therapy. I am Danny.
And I am Mike, and we're your compas with financial stories.
How's it going?
It's going. Straight to dump. No, I'm just
Straight to
kidding.
dump?
Straight
Why?
to shit. No, I'm just kidding.
No, things have to go good, man.
Yeah, they're okay. They're good.
What stories do you have today, man?
What do you want to hear?
Well, I don't know. One of the biggest questions that I've been getting, how do I become a millionaire?
How to become a millionaire. Damn. What'd you answer?
Well, there's no quick way of becoming a millionaire.
Right.
There are, and the ones that I could come up with is you married rich.
That's true.
That's number one.
See?
Another one is you inherit
That's
a lot
true.
of money.
See?
You win the lotto. What else?
¿Qué más? So that's three right there, right?
There's some illegal ways, doing illegal transaction,
Sí.
Rob a bank.
Scams.
Those, you become rich, but there's bigger risk.
That's true.
The first three, there's no risk.
Right.
Just besides, if you marry an old viejito or old lady, I don't know.
Hey.
That could be traumatic, right?
Or take out your partner, no? Put a little bit of
Life insurance?
Yeah, put the life
So
insurance
then that goes with that other one that you get arrested.
if you get caught.
You always get caught.
I've heard, I've heard.
Everybody gets caught.
Oh man, I mean that's a good question. A millionaire, how to be a millionaire? Because I think we talked about this off the show. I mean, we talk about sometimes people think millionaires and they're thinking that they have it in cash, right? Having $1 million in cash. But I think
Most millionaires don't even have that much
Right.
cash. I don't think so.
Maybe.
You think Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos actually have $1 million in their house in cash? I doubt it.
I would say, I don't know.
They probably have credit cards.
Yeah, they have it locked up. I mean, it makes sense, right? To keep it somewhere where they're gonna be able
They're
to insure it
invested.
if they lose
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, even in the bank only insures what 250. Yeah.
But you got to open several accounts, no?
Still,
4 accounts.
there's only so many banks in the world
offshore.
offshore. But even those, they could get risky. Didn't you see the movie Blow?
Excuse me.
Didn't you see the movie Blow? The one the guy that.
Oh, that movie.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I haven't seen that movie. That's in what, 90s?
I don't know, 90s, where he made him. There was the guy that started selling coke here.
Yes.
He made tons of money, and he took the money offshore, and then the government took the money, and he lost everything.
Killer.
Like, he was poor.
That's usually what happens. When people don't know how to manage their money, or they come
He
up with
managed it. He put it away. Just that he sent it to
the wrong place.
the wrong place, and the government says, "Hey, it's my money. Thank you for the 30 million."
Thank you. Oh, did you hear about the government though? Espérame.
No, which one?
Was it California? They have a surplus of money.
Well,
Did you hear about that?
no. So what happens now?
I think they have a surplus of $30 billion.
Okay, that's chump change, but okay.
Right, but now they have to give back some of it. I think they're gonna have to give back some of it. I
To
think
what? To the state or to the residents or to
to
who?
people, to California residents.
Why?
Because it's too much money. I think what I was hearing on the radio, it's by constitution, I think they can only have 14 billion, and right now they're at 30 billion.
Why don't they just spend it on the streets? I mean, there's so many potholes. At least that.
Right.
Fix the streets, improve traffic flow.
You would think,
What else?
but they're gonna have.
Put a little bit more cops in. You see the San Francisco where the cars are getting broken into every minute?
Well, that's what happens when. This is just my opinion. When you defund the police,
Yeah.
quítale el dinero, pues look at what happens.
Well, yeah, you don't have police driving around eating donuts and... That's a no-no, right?
Yeah. Well, in our county, what's happened? Our el sheriff, he's got a lot of bad publicity because a lot of people think that he's siding with criminals.
You think so? I didn't hear that. I mean,
Yeah,
I know
no,
he's
no.
trying to clean up the homeless issue.
The sheriff?
Yeah.
By putting them where? In the jail?
I don't know. He's going and cleaning. He cleaned up, Venice? And now he's working on Skid Row.
The sheriff?
Yeah.
No, that
Yeah.
can't be true.
What he's doing is basically, you want housing? Yes? Okay, we'll give you housing. You don't want housing? Then you got to go.
Yep.
You can't be here.
Really?
He's
The
cleaning-
sheriff.
Sheriff.
The guy with the letter G. I don't
Okay.
want to say his name. No, wait. With the V.
Yes.
Huh.
Yeah.
Hmm.
He's going in LA's jurisdiction and he's cleaning it up.
Well, that's what I'm saying, because
Somebody has to do it. I
when
mean,
you said Skid Row, that's LAPD.
LAPD. Same thing with Venice is LAPD.
Oh. But the sheriff's overreaching.
No, I mean the way he came out once and he said, "I'm the sheriff for the entire Los Angeles County." So
Yeah.
technically, yeah, he's right. And he says somebody has to. It's a health safety, and I agree with him that it is a health safety.
See,
Something needs to be done, you know,
but it's just crazy because I've worked and continue to work right there
in that
in that
area.
area, homeless population. I mean, there's a lot of. It's crazy.
Oh, it's crazy. I've been by there many times. You drive by there, people are shooting up. They're doing drugs.
Oh yeah,
In plain sight, they're taking a dump.
yeah.
You know, like
Having sex. I've seen
Yeah.
that.
everything, like right there in public.
Yeah. The thing is, it's hard with the housing, porque you offer them housing, and not everybody wants housing.
No, because
Not
there's
all.
rules.
Yeah. Some of them don't want to follow rules. Some of them want to stay out there. They don't want to be having to come back at 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night. And then what happens, we get other people from other states. And
They ship them over here.
they ship them over here. And I've talked to people, and they're like, hey, we're coming from such and such state because we heard you guys give free housing. So then it's going to be like fucking free housing everywhere.
Yeah, I
Until-
think it's supposed to be. It's a nationwide issue, not
Yeah.
a local issue.
Right.
So
And then I spoke to one guy who was homeless, and he said, man, what they should fucking do is get on the homeless fucking people and put them like in Palmdale. Have like a homeless camp and have us all live right there.
well, I mean, they were trying to do that in Palmdale with the sex offenders.
Right.
You know, they were coming out of jail and they're putting them out there, and finally the people said, "Hey, no more.
That's enough, yeah.
It's enough." So you'll probably get the same thing. Why you're bringing all the homeless over
All
here?
homeless, yeah.
You know, it's a
It's
bigger
hard.
issue.
Yeah, it's hard. A lot of layers to it. A lot of layers to it.
So, what other ways of getting rich? I mean, I think investing in real estate, right? That's
I would
one.
say, yeah.
But those are slow,
Right.
steady, and you can get rich in real estate. Stock market.
The stock market, mutual funds, I'm a big fan of that. Index funds.
Mhm.
¿Qué más?
But I also heard, I remember reading somewhere that the fastest growing millionaires are in the insurance industry.
What? Killing people and claiming
No, like as far as like
insurance?
selling insurance.
like insurance brokers?
I don't know necessarily in brokers. I don't know. I don't remember the full context of it, but they were talking about that industry is the one that
I haven't
produces
heard of that
most
one.
millionaires.
Oh, I haven't heard that either.
Yeah.
Insurance. I'm going to look into it.
Yeah, let's figure it out. I haven't heard of that one.
Might start selling insurance.
Start selling insurance, but I don't think insurance brokers. It has to be something
Not
else.
brokers. I think it's like because there's a lot of different smaller insurance companies. So if you have enough,
Well, personally, the one I think that if you want to build wealth and somewhat fast, but it still takes time, is a business.
Right.
And I mean by business, it could be, from even a YouTube channel or, an Instagrammer. What are you those?
Paid advertisements and stuff like that.
All social media person, influencers. It takes time.
And that's what I was saying. When you talk about a business, statistically, right, the first 2 years are usually the hardest, and that's when when a business closes or doesn't. It's going to close
Correct.
out.
The first years are pretty much 2 to 3 years are the most difficult.
Right.
Getting adjusted to setting up your systems and getting that the stream of people coming into your business.
Right.
But once you establish it, then that's when you start building it. You start building it. You start making money, and then you start making wealth. You start making it larger.
And I don't think people realize it is hard, right? Doing a business the first 2 years, fuck. Because I met people that are like, hey, I'm doing this as a little side business, but then what they don't realize is all the hours you got to put in, the marketing and the advertising.
You're everything.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a small business, you're the accountant, you're the whatever professional you're getting into, you're the chauffeur, you're
PR,
the PR,
HR.
you're HR, you're everything. You're everything.
Because I've had people and they're like, oh, I started a business. I'm like, okay, what have you done? Like marketing, advertising. Oh, I posted it on social media. How many times? Oh, just once. And it's like, that's not going to work for you.
No.
You look at big companies that are already established, right, for years, and they have their revenue is huge. They still continue to put money aside for marketing, advertising, social media, todo. They continue.
Well, except at Tesla. Tesla doesn't spend any money on advertising. Right?
I don't know.
Yeah, it does it.
I don't know.
yeah, there's
But-
no ads.
So I was thinking about this because I was thinking about Elon Musk. And he's smart. I mean, we know he's smart.
He does always say things that
Yes.
it's a commercial for Tesla, but not
See.
really.
So here's because who was it? The United Nations, I think, recently asked him for, what was it, like $6 billion? They asked him, like, hey, provide $6 billion and so we can feed X amount of people. And I like his response because it's kind of triggering, but a la misma vez, it's like getting him advertising, right? He said, I'll do it. Show me the breakdown of how you'll spend the $6 billion.
How it's gonna work? Yeah.
How you're going to spend pretty much every single dollar and make it open for them so everybody can see how you'll spend it. That way he mentioned something about putting it in the light. I think that was a little jab.
He says he will be part of his own personal money, and he'll do it.
See, but I think it was I don't know, the way that I took it is he was kind of throwing a jab, like, why don't you really see how you're spending your money, right? So the United Nations, they actually went, I was reading it yesterday, the day before, they finally put it out, how they'll spend the money. 400 million, I think, is going to be for like their operational cost, and then the rest they showed
That's
exactly. Yeah, that's what.
That's too much money.
400 million. I think they're trying to target about 43 different countries.
Still,
Like that's the same issue with like nonprofit organizations, where like, yes, they collect the money to help certain causes, but it's like, I think it was like 40% or half of their income that they collect goes to operational costs, paying executives. It's like, if you're gonna be executive to that organization, maybe don't make a couple $100 million.
Right.
You know,
Here's another one. Start your own nonprofit.
A nonprofit makes good money.
Yeah, they get money.
I've met people, and this is a misconception about nonprofits. People think a nonprofit doesn't make any money.
They make money. They got to pay their staff. They
Yeah.
got to pay the director, and they got to pay, their employees.
I think when they heard the name nonprofit, they heard, oh, no money whatsoever. But no, they fucking make money.
they make money, but it's to cover their costs.
Right.
And some of those nonprofits, their cost is very high compared to what they're actually doing for charity work. So that's why you always have to do research on the nonprofit and look at the books and see where's the
the money really going.
Are you just supporting the director of the nonprofit, or are you actually supporting the organization?
Yeah, exactly. Because I've seen some of the salaries for the boards, the board members of a nonprofit. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, there's some are in the millions. Like, really? Do you have to have that big of a salary versus,
Right. Versus my peanuts.
yeah.
But
That's another way of making money.
a nonprofit. Yeah.
Start your own nonprofit.
another way of making money, it's kind of controversial for the Hispanic community, is start your own religion.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Oh, that's a good one.
What are you talking about there, man?
I knew one guy that started his own religion, and within 3 years, he was living in, Bel Air.
Damn.
A couple years later, he got arrested, but that's a whole different story.
Related to the religion or
It
something?
was related to the business because he was running a construction company, and then he was running the religion. And later on, the construction was the side, the religion was his primary thing. And it came out on the news. I think it was something with taxes or employment.
Yeah, usually taxes.
And yeah, he got arrested. He's looking at 5 years to life or something like that.
Oh, shit.
Mhm.
Damn.
It was big.
That's,
It was
yes.
big. It was big.
5 to life, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That is a lot.
Yeah, and he went from a poor guy to he was living the life.
Shit.
So
No, he's giving life probably.
probably.
Going back to Elon Musk, the other thing he did, I think, recently, who's that? Bernie Sanders, right?
Oh, they
tweeted something.
were talking amongst each other.
And then Elon Musk said, sometimes I forget you're still alive. So some of his tweets are kind of like, what the hell are you talking about? But they're funny, and it brings up a lot of like
It's publicity.
publicity for him for free.
Yeah, free publicity.
Free. He knows what he's doing. He's very smart. Very, very smart guy.
Well, I mean, he's made a lot of money, and it's like they say, all publicity, good or bad, is always publicity, right?
always publicity.
Free, especially free.
Have you seen my social media, the stuff that I put?
No,
Usually gets banned. I usually
No.
publicity, but they put me in jail.
No.
Social media jail. Whatever.
Yeah. So other ways we could make money. I think the best way, starting a business.
Starting a business.
But you got to really analyze what you really want to do, and remember the difference between a job and a business is setting up a system where somebody else makes the money for you,
See.
and you can replicate it.
And
That's the guaranteed way I think you could make millions, or indefinite.
But I think a lot of people get bogged down on like a number of like making money. You can make all the money in the world, but if you're miserable,
Right.
is it worth it?
Yeah.
Like, you gotta love what you do.
You gotta love what you do.
You have to. You have to have that passion. So,
Yeah.
it burns out and forget it.
Yeah, because different types of businesses are not for everybody.
Right.
Like owning apartments is not for everybody.
Right.
It's unless you have the money, and especially if you're starting out, you're going to be doing the grunt work.
Right.
Yeah, that's
I had a professor at when I was getting my bachelor's degree. Professor, white guy, former LAPD. I think he was a captain. And he was telling us a story about his son. His son's, I think, 17. He bought his son's an apartment complex.
wow.
He bought his son, yeah. But see, this guy was smart. Think about this: LAPD captain, retired, teaching at a university, teaches in California, in Los Angeles, but he lives in another state. I think I want to say he lives.
So would you fly in every week or every weekend?
Every week. I think he was flying like on Sundays or Mondays, and then fly back out Thursdays. I think he was from Utah. And he told us one time, he's like, I have a 3-story house. We're like, what the fuck? Like, he's like, but you know the cost of living in Utah is different.
Yeah.
He's like, but look at me. And he did this. At the time, I didn't understand I thought he meant he was white.
Mm-hmm.
He was white. So I'm like, oh, okay. He's saying,
I don't know. You could change your color, man.
you could. Look at former president of yours, the one that you were very excited about. You were rallying up, remember?
But he was still white, though.
He's turned orange. He turned orange like fucking Tang. Pero, so he did that. He's like, at the time I was like young, dumb, and I was like, oh, now I'm older and dumb. Pero he was saying he did this. I'm like, oh, he's white.
No, he wanted to do you, man.
Maybe that's what he wanted, and I didn't pick up on it. Sometimes I don't pick up on stuff. And years down the line, I realized, wait, he was showing me, not that he's white, that he doesn't have any fucking jewelry. He's not showing off. He doesn't have a lot of, he's dressed down. You wouldn't even realize he was a cop. So I thought it was pretty smart of him, flying, getting his money, fucking at his house over there in Utah. 3-story house, 17-year-old son with an apartment complex. And he was telling us, he's like, his son would go up to collect the rent. And his son was all timid, like, oh, I'm here to collect the rent.
No, you can't be like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta be like, I'm the boss. I'm here to collect the rent.
Yeah. So when you mentioned that's not for everybody, it reminded me of that guy.
Well, you learn. Over the years, you'll learn how to.
Now he's older.
Yeah. But I've known people who do that. I used to know this firefighter, because you know how firefighters work 24 hours, and I think they work 3 days or 4 days on.
Yeah.
He would live like in a little town up north where the rent or property value is really cheap, and he would fly down when he starts his work. He comes here, he stays in the fire station, and flies back.
Yeah. Smart.
Makes a lot of money.
Smart.
Yeah.
Talking about getting rich, building wealth. That's an idea.
That's a couple ways of doing it. Yeah.
Did he do it for a long time, or do you know something?
He was doing it for a long time. I think I met him, and he was already he was getting close to retirement, so he had been doing that for quite a long time. But hey, I think he even had
his
own little Cessna plane that he would fly.
Damn.
So.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Shit.
Hey. Yeah, you could do that, when you're making. I think he was like a captain, so he was making good money.
Oh yeah.
He was making the banks.
Damn.
So that's you can make some wealth in working through an employer, but not as fast.
Right.
But you have to be a little bit more creative in investing in 401ks and everything else.
And I think that's why some of these cops come in. Some of these law enforcement guys are still working as law enforcement.
All the overtime.
But they work overtime. Then they start a business, security business, executive protection.
I heard this one guy that a friend met. He was a sheriff for the county, and he was a police officer. But then he started buying a lot of properties in areas that are high crime. So at the time they were very cheap properties,
right.
Very inexpensive. And he ended up building a whole a portfolio of a lot of homes in those areas. And by the time he retired, he was just going to live off his property. Smart. Very smart. A lot of you and I were probably like, I don't want to go in that area.
Right.
But for him, like,
Plus he's a cop, so.
Yeah,
They know him. 5-0 coming through.
Yeah.
And see, these are things that you hear kind of down the line, but nobody does. They don't really talk about it. Like, hey, we're doing this. This is what I'm fucking doing. So it's like, oh shit. So la gente no sabe,
By the time they retire, hey, how did he do it?
Right. Like, what the fuck? Off of this salary?
Mm-hmm.
It's possible.
But you also probably get, I guess if the sheriff told his friends, they'd be like, "What are you wasting your money on that? it's not worth it.
It's
Who
in the
wants to buy in
hood,
the hood?
Right.
Yeah.
That could be a reason why they don't mention it, right?
But here's a prime one. There's now some shopping centers in areas that are somewhat considered the hood.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to say this community name, but a lot of developers would never invest in those communities.
Mhm.
And there's just one developing company. Should I say the name?
What? You want to whisper to me?
It's Prime Store. Prime Store. They got a little bit of money, and they went to these underserved communities,
Uh-huh.
and they built these little shopping centers. And suddenly they started building some bigger shopping centers. And now they're one of the main shopping centers in the LA area, in neighborhoods where people would never invest.
Right.
And you see these shopping centers, like, wow. And it's that one Latinos who decided, hey, I'm gonna go invest where my people are, and it's worked out for him.
Damn.
So that's maybe hopefully we could get him come in our show one day and talk to us about his story. Yeah, I have a friend who knows him personally.
Ándale.
Yeah.
You know people, Danny. You are rich and famous, like you said last week.
No, I'm not
Or
famous.
the week before.
I'm not rich. I'm not famous. No.
I see a bunch of zeros right there.
Yeah, but
Oh,
zeros.
but there's nothing. Okay, never mind. So I think I like the idea of the business. I just don't know. What's your opinion? Porque do you leave your job for a business? Do you do it on the side? Do you start small?
It depends on your personal situation. I think if you're single,
No, I'm married.
no, let's say hypothetically you were
Okay.
single, and you put aside 6 months of money to live whatever you need to live, and then you have the money to start up your business. Yeah, you quit your job and do it. If you believe in yourself, make sure you have somebody review your business plan to make sure that what you're thinking is going to make sense.
Right.
Because you might be just too focused. I'm going to make money. But no, you got to find something that you're really going to enjoy doing. Because once it becomes like officially your business,
Right.
it's a day in, day out, not an 8-hour thing. It'd be a 10 or 12-hour thing, maybe even longer. So that's if you're single. If you're married and you're the primary breadwinner and your spouse doesn't work, maybe you have to do it on the side. Instead of having a Sancho or Sancha,
Right.
that could be your side.
A different type of side.
Different, yeah.
Okay.
Because
Because I think that's one of people's biggest concerns, right? Like, when do I start? Do I leave my job for this business? Do I start the business on the side? ¿Cómo le hago?
it depends on the different situations. If you're married and your spouse is married and you're living below your means, meaning that you're not living check to check,
Right.
maybe if you have enough savings, yeah, you could leave your job and take the chance. But it's really up to your personal situation.
Right.
Also, adding context, let's say your business idea, not necessarily related to tech, but if you have a patent or if you have a decent business plan, you could go to a venture capitalist, you give them a percentage of your company, and like, this idea is worth so much, you can have them fund you as well.
Like Shark Tank, huh?
Almost like Shark Tank.
Yeah. I mean, there's companies out there that they're looking for the next venture, the next thing, but you got to have a really good business plan.
Right. And I think that might be the hard part, the business plan. Because I think I've seen a business plan before, and then
It looks daunting.
It is.
But really, when you start analyzing, it's not. You got to break it down.
And maybe that's what people don't understand. Like, what's a business plan? But the business plan pretty much tells you how the business is going to be run.
It tells you what the business goal is, how you're going to run it. From a really good business plan will be like from day to day. This is how we're going to set up the colors, the ambience when somebody walks into your business. Whatever the business is.
Can the business plan change?
Oh yeah, a good business plan is dynamic. It changes with the business because you might think your business is going to be this, but suddenly something starts taking off.
Right.
You have to adjust, and that's the problem with there's businesses that don't adjust. I mean, the other day we were talking about was it MySpace?
Right.
Why did Facebook overtook MySpace?
I don't know.
My understanding is that MySpace never adjusted to the times. They never went into the mobile platform. They were still on the PC. You know, so you have to be able to change.
Right.
Same thing like IBM. IBM was the big one
back in the day.
Yeah. Now it's like, you know, it's there, but it's not as powerful as it used to be or is known. Why? Because they didn't adapt to the change.
They just wanted to keep everything the same.
Yeah, you have to change. Sears, now that it's going under. That used to be the biggest company, you know, retailer. Why did that one fail? I mean, besides not changing, I mean, there's a lot of corporate stuff that went on, but one thing was not adapting to today's trends.
Right. So you got to be flexible, huh? Like you said, dynamic.
You got to be dynamic.
Adjust. Okay, makes sense. Now, what about people that I know you mentioned like the capitalist, but what about like asking family and friends for money? Like, hey, I'm going to start this business. What's your opinion on that? Because some people don't like to mix, you know, business with pleasure.
If I'm
family.
If I'm going to advise somebody when starting a business, do it on your own. Because you don't want somebody the next day, if you make it, oh, he's there because of me, and they're going to feel entitled that you owe them for the rest of their life.
And some people don't know how to keep it separate, right? Like the family, the business, the friendship.
If you are going to go borrow money, but don't say what you need it for, and if they lend it to you, fine.
See.
But you know, I would say can I borrow, you know, $5,000 or whatever you need to borrow it,
See.
but don't say what you need it for. If they ask and say, yeah, it's something personal.
Now with that, because I've heard people también, and I've heard it on TV. Should you get a contract if you're borrowing money from somebody? Should it be put on
If
paper?
you're the person borrowing, I would say no. If you're the person lending, definitely.
See, of course.
Because the person borrowing says, oh, you never lent it to me. You
Right.
gave it to me.
Right.
You know, if you're lending money, hey, yeah, let's put something in writing.
See.
At least a text at the very minimum.
Right.
And what are the terms? When am I going to get it back? On Tuesday. Okay, which Tuesday? Tuesday of next month or Tuesday of next year?
Just on Tuesday, huh?
Yeah.
Some indefinite Tuesday that's never
Yeah,
going to show.
no. You're going to be like the guy from Popeye.
That's
I'll
true.
pay you next Tuesday.
For
Next
a
Tuesday,
hamburger?
yeah, for a hamburger never came in. You know?
Because I've always heard, put it in contract. Make sure that somebody's going to pay you back. Whatever it is, even if it's family, put it in fucking contract.
But here's the thing. If you're going to go into contract with somebody that's family, are you willing, or in business, are you willing, or are you okay in losing that relationship? That's the question you need to ask.
Right.
Because no matter how good your contract or how good you're planning, there's always going to be that issue somewhere down the line that could ruin the relationship.
Right.
If you're okay with that, then proceed.
Fuck it. Take the money.
Yeah.
Huh? I saw it in the movie. I think
I could tell you life stories about that.
I think you're reciting the movie though. Is it a Bronx Tale?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Another thing about the other day I was thinking about about starting a business. One thing that you could do is, if you're going to patent stuff, is poor man's patent.
A poor man? What's that?
You never heard of what poor man's patent? So let's say you or even a business idea. If you want to say I'm the one that created an idea, what a poor man's patent is you put your idea or concept in writing, you put it in an envelope, you mail it to yourself, and keep it sealed. Don't open it. So in the event that anybody ever comes to you and says, "Hey, he stole my idea," or "He stole my invention," you say, "Oh, really? Here's my sealed envelope. It's dated, stamped. This is when I came up with the idea." That's a poor man's patent.
Poor man's patent. Okay.
And it's enforceable.
Really? Enforceable?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to look into it. I'm going to call your bluff on that one.
No, it is.
Poor man's.
That's what I learned that from somebody. If you can't afford a official patent, do a poor man's patent.
Poor man's patent. Are patents expensive? Well, not this one.
Most patents run somewhere, at least to do the patent research, about $2,000-3,000.
Damn.
And then to actually do the patent, you could go up to about $20,000.
Shit. But that protects you that many, It's
only for 50 years, I believe.
Is that 50 years?
50 years or 100 years. I'm not sure, depending on the type of patent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the process is long too.
Yeah, it's a long
Is
process.
it?
Because you submit a paper to the patent office, the U.S. Patent Office, and they'll say, no, it's too broad, you need to come back with it, or it's too similar to somebody else's.
Yeah.
You need to change it. You need to make sure why yours is specifically different.
Right.
You might have to reference other patents like let's say if you're using a base of, I can think of like tech. So like if you're using a camera, you might have to refer to somebody that created the patent for cameras to go on. It all depends on the patent officer that you go with.
Damn.
It's
To do an
Sounds
actual
tedious, huh?
to do an actual patent, you have to have schematics that how you're going to actually build it, and that's what you submit. I started looking into a patent many years ago, and I got stuck at the prototype. I'm still working on getting a prototype. I got a couple ideas.
Okay, so let's talk about prototypes. That's a good, right? Because some people are going to need some kind of products or they want to create something.
If you want to go get money, you need a prototype
See.
to show that your idea is actually feasible.
Where do you go
And
get a prototype at?
That's you got to pay or you got to create your own.
See.
Some of them you could probably do it on your own, but some technical you probably have to pay somebody to do
Put
it.
it together for you?
Put it together,
Damn.
and that could get expensive.
That's what I say. Because they're making pretty much creating just one, right?
Just one.
So
So
the-
building parts, designing it from scratch, and injection molding or whatever the process you're going to use. It takes money and time.
Shit, I can imagine that being pricey.
Yeah.
Because they're to your specs. So they're creating something.
And if it doesn't work the first time, you got to do another one. It could get pricey.
It gets pricey, yeah?
For the product that I was working on, just two little components, it cost me about $300-400, and I put it together and it needed adjustment, so I redid another one. And the second one, I tried to go print it on my own 3D printer, and it didn't work very well. But yeah, to do the whole thing will probably cost about $10,000.
Shit. Now those 10,000, let's suppose, is that tax deductible for the business?
If it's in a business, yeah.
Okay.
But most of the time, you're not in business yet because there's
Beforehand.
You should. I mean, I guess you set it up as a business, and then you can start writing stuff
See.
off.
Might be a good idea.
Might be a good
Beforehand, do it, and then all the expenses, file your taxes. Hey, these are all my expenses. I'm a negative. I've been there before. All my expenses were always, my tax negative, and it worked. It helped for a bit.
Eventually catches up, though. They start saying, "Hey, wait a minute. How come you're always negative?"
How come you're always negative? Well, it's just my state of mood. I'm always fucking negative. What do y'all want to do? Okay. So that's good information. Now,
there is no way of making fast money.
that's what I was saying. Because recently I've been hearing, I think I've heard from like 3 different people, they want to be day traders. I was like, all right.
Well, you gotta have to be a day trader. You gotta have money to play with. Basically, it's gambling in a sense. But even the Kardashians, it took her years to make money. I know the rumor is that she started by one video, and then after that kind of blew up. But by the time she got her followers, how many years did it take her to get to where she was at, where she became a multi-millionaire, influencer and a businesswoman? It wasn't that overnight.
Right. It takes a while. And that's what I tell people too. Like, hey, it takes a while. Like, don't expect it overnight. It's gonna be fucking years from now.
I think everybody's just like, oh, I'm going to have an idea. Next month, I'm going to be a millionaire.
Yeah. You and everybody else.
No.
You and everybody else.
It takes years, at least 5 years, any type of business to really
Consistency.
Yeah.
I'd say consistent, because sometimes people start, then they stop, and they keep. It's just like a slinky effect. But they gotta stay consistent to make sure they get to where they're at.
And devoted.
Yeah.
I think you got to be devoted to your cause or whatever you're going to do.
A lot of sacrifice time away from friends, from family. Yeah.
That's why I said the business could be your Sancho or Sancha, because it does take a lot of time away from you.
It does. You get in trouble for that. Not spending time with your partner.
Yeah, I could tell you.
I could tell you. I could show you.
So
No.
the bruises.
Oh man. Now, even like when we're talking about like stocks, investments, and stuff like that, long term.
Long term. To get enough stocks to where that builds up to a decent amount, it's going to take at least 10 years.
Yeah. I'll give you an example. Rivian recently went public, right? They did their initial public offering, their IPO. For the next 2 days, I think it shot up, right? I think it went up to like $75. And then the next day, I think it dropped like $25. So even that's kind of like, it's up and down. And that's what the stock market's about también.
I think if you're going to play the stock market to make money, I think you got to look kind of like what Warren Buffett does for the long term.
Right.
You buy companies that are solid and you know they're going to grow, they're going to do something good for the long term.
Right.
Day traders, yeah, you'll make a quick buck, but you could also lose quick buck.
A lot quickly, right?
Yeah, a lot
Like
quickly.
because it's a big risk you're taking.
Mm-hmm.
You're investing in these companies that,
Yeah.
I guess you're expecting to shoot up quickly and then move your money.
But when are you going to time it? You can't time the
Right.
market. If everybody had that crystal ball,
Everybody would be rich now.
yeah.
Everybody would be investing, getting rich. But at the same time, when you become a day trader, and all these capital gains that you're making,
It's taxes.
taxes,
Mhm.
taxes.
And if you have another business to offset those taxes, like all your negatives,
See, all the negatives, siempre negative.
or your multiple wives.
Who told you?
Yeah.
Secrets out.
Nothing's a secret in this world, man.
They don't know how to keep their mouth shut.
Yeah, you're gonna have to sleep on the couch tonight.
Which one?
On one of the couches.
Oh, Danny. Getting me in trouble.
So that's how I think you could become a millionaire.
What about gambling in Vegas? I just came back from Vegas.
You got to be really, really, really good. Not everybody's good.
Yeah, I'm not good.
I think there was a couple people that what was it? One of those the actors. He got banned in Vegas because he was really good.
I know,
but that's one in a few though.
I've heard Dana White gets banned. The guy from the UFC.
Oh really?
He gets banned because he's played like big hands, and he wins big time, like millions of dollars.
But with him, well, one, yeah, he can count cards, and
Oh,
he's
can
very
he?
good at poker.
Smart.
And then I think at one point he won a hand like it was $1 million, and the casino banned it. You can't gamble here anymore. So what he did, he's like, you know what? I'm just gonna take all my fighters and fights, and I'm gonna go to the casino across the street that lets me
right.
gamble.
That's true. Because I think at the time, were they hosting fights there also?
Yeah,
They were hosting fights there, and then after that, I think he ended up pulling out the fights from there, right? No
Yeah.
more fights for that casino. Ándale. When you got that
Got
kind of power and money.
You got power, yeah.
Shit.
But I think if you could count 5 deck of cards, okay,
Can't even count the 5 fingers on my hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Add another 5, and until
5 plus 5.
I think if they should be allowed to count cards.
People do it.
I do. If you get caught, you get banned from the casino. But
Because
think
I
you
played
should.
with guys before, and they're like, I recently started, I think maybe 2, 3, 4 years ago. I don't gamble a lot, but once in a while I do go play blackjack, because that's fucking hard to do too. Counting to 21, right? Y entonces, the guy was telling me, he's like, oh, watch, this card's gonna come on, that card's gonna come out, just wait. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this guy was, this guy had been playing for years, so he'd tell me, hold on, don't bet, or double down, whatever the fuck he was saying. And he would tell me, hold on, bro, I see, ya salió el queen, the king, that's it, bro, don't even
Okay.
fucking put any more money.
He's counting the cards.
He was counting
those.
cards.
Mhm.
He was keeping track of how many kings and jacks and all that shit. I was like, oh, fuck.
It's a whole art.
Yeah. I've heard that, man, one of my friends, she knows a statistician. I think it was a statistician. And he would go to Vegas to gamble. And he would count the cards because he was pretty into, ¿cómo se llama? Probabilities.
Mhm.
And that's what he would fucking do. That's how he would make some money. That would he wouldn't make his money like that. but
You
he
see
would
that
make
movie? They based it off, like, I guess, in true story. Was it 21?
I think so, yeah.
With the Harvard kids. Was it Harvard?
See.
Yeah, they
Or
went to-
MIT?
No, it was
Harvard
Harvard,
or
or somewhere in the East.
See.
I think it was Harvard, right?
MIT.
I
MIT.
did see that one, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they decided to go to Vegas and gamble.
Yeah, and the professor had them all set up, right? How to fucking count the cards, don't?
Yeah.
Probability, don't? Yeah.
Hey, that's one way of making money, but you got to be good and don't get caught because you can get beat up.
I did pretty good. I left a couple $100 there in Vegas. I did.
You left money? It's
I
not the
left
way it's
money.
supposed to work, man.
I know.
You're supposed
I
to
know.
bring back money.
But here's what I was proud of, and I'll tell you this. I had actually started saving money aside for my extra stuff that I do, prostitution. I put some money on the side, and I use that money instead of my paycheck. Quick trip to Vegas. So I was very happy about that. I was very proud of that. I gotta tell you.
That's good.
Thank you.
So
And then I left some there.
we left it all there.
No, I left some. Not a lot. Not a lot. But,
Hey, if it brings you joy,
but I will tell you that, it helped because I think we had already been home for too long. We hadn't gone out, and I told my wife, hey, let's get the fuck out of here. It was like a last minute trip from one day to another, and we went to Vegas the following day. Just her and I spent time together, and then we came back the following day. It was
and you
good.
made it back alive.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, she was nice to me.
She was nice to you?
She was nice to me.
Oh, wow.
But I always remind her we're married in California, so you know.
That's risky, man. You were taking a lot of risks. Now I'm
Marrying
going to
her?
Vegas,
Yeah, that
but
was a
going
big
alone
risk.
with your wife over there?
Oh, I thought you meant marrying her. That was a
No.
big risk. That was a huge fucking risk.
No, not that.
Huge
Just going
risk.
over there alone with her.
It was okay.
Yeah.
In the desert, you know.
Yeah, she could have left you over there, man.
She could have had already a fucking little hole buried for me. And
Yeah.
Monster
Life
stuff.
insurance, ka-ching.
that's true.
You didn't think about that, right?
No, I trust. Yeah.
Okay.
Something.
So, any other ways you can make money besides your prostitution thing and
That's really good money. I can tell you
your
that right now.
gambling thing, horse races?
I've done the horse races. Yeah.
You're just gonna leave all your stuff over there.
Yeah. That's why I don't really like to gamble. Like, siempre perdemos. Most of the time we lose.
I've known people who gotten loans from their house to go gamble, and they lose it all.
Fuck.
They lose it all. That's a gambling problem.
Yeah. Because in the whole gambling thing, the way they get you is, I mean, like, hey, reward. You win every so often. You win. So you're like, yeah, fucking, I'm going to hit big. I knew somebody that went to Vegas, they were up $800. And they wanted to win the big fucking pot. And they kept playing. They ended up losing $800.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, you were up 800. You should have just fucking walked
You
away.
should have walked away.
Yeah. I did.
Yeah.
I think one time I hit 700. And I'm like, yeah, we're done. Vámonos.
I mean, the story is of a family member. He passed away. That the family was wealthy and gambled it all away. You know, they had ranches, farms, and everything. And over the years, and gambled all the goats and chickens and pigs and everything.
Even all that, huh?
He gambled
the
everything.
whole farm.
Till he lost everything.
That sucks.
Yeah.
That sucks.
You feel like you're gonna beat it next time, and next time never comes.
Yeah. The house wins a lot, majority of the time.
Yeah.
They have it down. They know how to fucking get people money.
Statistically, the machines are computers, so they kind of have a control. The ones that are a little harder, like the crabs,
Sí.
the 21. Did they have less control? But they have machines to shuffle them
Sí.
to.
And even other little ways to get your money. Oh, do you want to buy insurance?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh yeah, fuck it. Yeah, I can win extra. Man, majority of the time you don't fucking win.
Yeah.
Even on that insurance.
No, it's you know, why did you think they make those big casinos in Vegas? It's not for free.
Right.
I mean, it costs them millions of dollars.
Yeah.
It's like somebody's leaving the money. Besides you.
You guys are all welcome.
Thanks for the nice casino.
We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Probably paid for like a light bulb somewhere, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all right.
Well.
But I think that to drive the point home is it's long term. Making money is long term.
Long-term, steady, and you will make it.
Right. You got to be committed to it. Don't give up. Do not give up.
I agree. I think that's the way you make good wealth.
See.
That will last for a long time.
Yeah.
Because fast money, yeah, you get it fast, but at the same time, there's either going to go to jail or you're going to
See.
lose it really quick.
Or just spend it right away
Yeah.
on stupid stuff.
We talked about that already.
Yeah, we did. We did. But I do have good news. I do have a person that's willing to allow us for future to track the debt payment.
Oh, to
The
a
progress.
whole case scenario?
The whole case,
All right.
yeah.
So that'll be good case study.
She's going to put together, I think she's already got it together, but she's got to put it together for us and then send it to us.
And then we'll kind of go through the process and how we would tackle it.
Yeah.
And she could listen to our video and if she wants to follow it. And
And then she's going to allow us also to let everybody know the progress of how she's coming along and paying down the debt and then like anything else that comes with it.
I think it'll be a good challenge for us
Yeah.
to see if we're still on our toes and how to get out of debt.
I hope so.
And if,
No, we will.
Oh, no. I feel positive.
Yeah.
I think we could do it.
I'm down.
You know,
Challenge accepted.
let's go for it.
Oh.
Hopefully she'll be out of debt within 2 years.
I think she could, yeah.
Mhm.
She gave me a little bit of information. I think she could do it. And I think her reality, or what she mentioned, about a year and a half, yeah. So like
Okay.
2 years, yeah. You know her?
No, you don't.
Because you fucking...
Usually most people could probably get out of debt within 2 or 3
2 years.
years. In most scenarios. But
So-
they got to do a little bit extra. They got to make some changes. But yeah,
So-
that's good news.
So let's do this. We got
Let's do it.
For
Let's
future,
do
maybe
it.
next week or something like that.
Hopefully we can start next week.
Cool. Challenge accepted.
All right.
You guys saw that?
So
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you, Danny, for your time today.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us.
All right.
You have to join us. Eh? You're part of this.
All right. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share the video so we can get
keep sending your questions.
Yes, sending the questions.
All right.
Cool.
If you want to hear more stories like this, please click the like button and subscribe.
Find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.